Good morning, scholars and families. Happy Monday. It is April 27th. We are getting ready for another week of guided reading on YouTube. If you are here with me this morning, thank you so much for being here. I want you to put a smile on your face to show me that you're ready and excited to learn. All right, awesome. We are going to get started today with talking about what we did over the weekend, because today is Monday, which means you just had 2 days where you did no school. If you did do school, like if you did read and if you did watch YouTube videos, maybe you even logged on to Lexia and Zern. I'm so impressed. That's awesome endurance. Now, before we ask the question, I want us to first look at the two pictures that we have on our screen. So on the left side of your screen, you're going to see a bunch of DePaul scholars who earned lunch bunch with Miss Cherney and Miss Javity. Awesome job for those friends. They earned lunch bunch because they completed all of their work this week every single day. They were talking to their teachers on the phone. They were doing their YouTube, their Lexia, their Zern. They were independently reading, and they were working on their work packets. So shout out to Ella, Derek, Abigail, Jordan, Amanda, Zaire. Who's that friend on the bottom? I can't tell. Oh, Jaden Carter, Jaslyn, Elijah, Juan, Kaden, Skylar. Awesome job to those DePaul friends. Now, in the other picture, you're going to see a smaller UC lunch bunch that Miss Rossi had with Ava, Aiden, and Charles. Those scholars completed Lexia and Zern lots and lots of minutes. They were on all of the YouTube videos. They talked to Miss Rossi. They did all of their work done. So great job to all those first grade friends that earned lunch bunch with their teachers on the computer. Now, we're doing this every single week. So if you haven't earned lunch bunch yet, you have lots of time to earn. All of your teachers want to have as many kids as we can in our lunch bunches. So if you do your work every single day, you'll be invited. Okay, so our warm-up question today, it says, welcome back. Happy Monday. What was the best part of your weekend? Now, I included these pictures because the best part of my weekend, even though it was on Friday, the best part of my weekend was my lunch bunch. So I want you to pause your video and say, the best part of my weekend was, and tell me something fun you did this weekend. Pause your video and answer the question now. All right, maybe some of you got to play outside. Maybe some of you went and saw some family. Maybe some of you read books or watched a fun movie or ate a special dessert. If you had an awesome weekend, great job. Now let's get our brains ready to start learning. Okay, this week we are going to continue to talk about making inferences. Because remember, when we make an inference about the text, we're guessing something that the author doesn't tell us. So in second grade, you guys are going to be making lots and lots of inferences. So we're going to practice making inferences or guesses about books based on two things. When I make an inference, I need two things. I need, pause your video and tell me what two things I need to make an inference now. You should have said that to make an inference or a guess, we need text evidence, we need schema, and remember, schema is what you know. Schema is. So if we're reading a book, the author is not going to tell us everything. Sometimes we're going to have to guess, and we use our text evidence and our schema. So in order to make those inferences, we need to use this sentence stem. Say this sentence stem along with me on 2, 1, 2. In the story, I read blank, so that makes me think blank. I want you to watch my hands closely this time and do it with me. We're reading together on 2, 1, 2. In the story, I read, text evidence, I read blank, so that makes me think, I'm using my schema, so that makes me think blank. And at the end, I'm going to make my inference. I'm going to make my, all right, so we're going to answer some inferential questions today using our text evidence and our schema. We also are going to think about character feelings. We're going to think about, yeah, a character feeling is the way that a character feels inside about something in the story. So if a character gets scared by something, they probably feel nervous or worried or scared. If a character is jumping up and down and smiling, they might feel excited or happy or proud. If a character is falling asleep, they might feel sleepy or exhausted. So those are the ways that a character feels inside. You can also use the sentence stem. In the story, I read blank, so that makes me think blank. in order to think about the way that a character feels. Now today in our story, we have a girl who's a little bit bossy, and we're going to read to find out the way that she and her classmates feel in our story. I want you to, before we go into our story, I want you to pause your video and tell me 3 character feelings that you know. So it could be proud, sad, excited. It could be thrilled, embarrassed, or proud. It could be confused, thoughtful, or excited. You are going to name 3 character feelings. Pause your video and answer that question now. All right, if you said 3 character feelings or 3 adjectives that we know that makes up a character feeling, give yourself 2 claps and 2 more. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our book called If I Were in Charge. Ooh, Miss Rossi was definitely this girl when she was a first grader. If I were in charge. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our book. I want you to pause your video and read through pages 3 and 4 out loud now. Awesome reading. Let's move on. Pause your video and read through pages 5 and 6 now. Okay, friends, I want you to put your finger on this word on page 6 that starts with GR and it's bolded. It's right at the very bottom of your screen. Take your finger and put your finger on that word. Now, I hope and I know that a lot of you are reading through the words that you get stuck on. I know that none of us are guessing. I know that none of us are skipping words. So we're going to read through this word together. We're going to read through the word. That means we're looking for blends, ends, and vowel teams. We're looking for. All right, in this word, I see a blend at the beginning. What blend do I see? Yes, I see grr. I see. Uh-oh, friends, this is a thick marker. I see an ending. What ending do I see? ED, very good. And I see a vowel team. I see A. So I have my blends, my ends, and my vowel teams. Now the vowel team OA, I know that when 2 vowels go walking, the first one does the talking. So OA says, O. OA says, we're getting ready to read through the word. Take your finger and put it underneath the GR blend. We're reading on 2, 1, 2. Grr, owned. One more time. Grr, owned. All together, the word is groaned. The word is groaned. Now, groaned we've talked about in class before. Remember when you groan, it's like you complain or you roll your eyes. You are not happy if you are groaning. Nice job if you read through that word with me. Let's move on. Pause your video and read through pages 7 and 8 now. Nice reading through the word. Let's move on. Friends, pause your video and read through pages 9 and 10 now. Good reading. Friends, pause your video and read through pages 11 and 12 out loud now. Nice endurance. Keep going. Friends, now I want you to pause your video and read through pages 13 and 14 now. All right, last 2 pages. Nice job if you've been reading through the words. Friends, pause your video and read through pages 15 and 16 now. All right, let's go ahead and answer some questions. Really nice job reading the text if I were in charge. Now we're going to use our text evidence and our schema to answer questions about making inferences and character feelings. So my first question is this. What does it mean to be in charge of something? Pause your video and answer the question now. I know my schema tells me that if you're in charge of something, it means you get to make the rules or you get to be the leader of something. So the teacher asks Helga, her name is Helga, she asks Helga if Helga would like to be in charge. That means be the leader of the classroom and make the rules. Nice job if you knew that from the story. Second question, how many rules does Helga make? Yes, she makes 3 rules. She writes 3 rules, excuse me, friends, on the board. Nice job. Very nice job. How does the class feel on page 5 when Helga says there would be no more school uniforms? Pause your video and answer the question now. In the story, I read that the class says, yay, and they cheer. So that makes me think, ooh, good schema, if I'm cheering, ooh, that makes me think the class is excited or happy that Helga wants to take away school uniforms. Nice job. How do the students feel when Helga says they have to wear purple? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story, I read that the students say, aw, and they groan. So that makes me think that they were mad or disappointed that they would have to wear purple if Helga was in charge. Why does Helga say that Mario won't be allowed in the school? Pause your video and answer, why does Helga say that Mario won't be allowed in the school? Go ahead and do that now. In the story, I read that Mario says, what if I don't have purple? And Helga says, then you won't come to school. So that makes me think that Helga will not let anybody into the school that's not wearing purple. It also might make you think that Helga loves purple. That's a really good inference to make, is that Helga wants everyone to wear purple because she loves purple. Next question is, why does Helga think that Mario will be able to come to school? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story, I read that Helga says, sure, you'll be able to come to school. All you have to do is make your favorite color purple. So that makes me think that Helga wants to make Mario's favorite color purple so that he can also come to school if she is in charge. Nice job, friend. Let's move on. Next question. How does the class feel when she says they get fruit juice at every lunch? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story, the class said yay and cheered. So that makes me think that they are happy or excited about getting fruit juice. How does the class feel when Helga says that the juice will be prune juice? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story and in the picture, I see that the class is going like this with their face. So that makes me think that they might be disgusted or not excited or grossed out by prune juice. Maybe you said the class is confused. That's also a really good character feeling word to use how the class is feeling. They don't want prune juice. Let's see what happens next. Why does Helga say that the water fountains will not have water? Why does Helga say that the water fountains will not have water? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story, I read that Helga says the drinking fountains will not have water because water is boring. So that makes me think that she wants to put prune juice in the water fountains instead of water because water is too boring. Friends, would you like it if there was prune juice in our water fountains at school? Some of you might like prune juice. I don't think Miss Rossi would like it that much because I don't know what I would be able to fill up my water bottle with. And you, my UC friends know that my water bottle is very important to me. Show connection if you remember. All right, nice job. I don't know what Helga's going to do at this school. Let's go ahead to the next page and answer some questions. Ooh, okay, last question. What does the teacher, Mrs. Jones, say about Helga being in charge of the school? What does Mrs. Jones say about Helga being in charge of the school? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story, I read that Mrs. Jones says, maybe it's best that you're not in charge of the school. So that makes me think that Miss Jones probably doesn't like Helga's rules that much, or maybe she thinks that they're silly or funny. I want one more question on this page, friends. My next question is this. At the end of Helga's speech, at the end of the speech on page 13, how do the classmates feel about Helga being in charge? On page 13, how do the classmates feel about Helga being in charge? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story I read that the class groaned again. So that makes me think that the class does not want Helga to be in charge. They are mad or frustrated about Helga's rules, or maybe you said they don't like Helga's rules. Nice job. Let's go ahead to the last page of our story. What is the last rule that Helga wants? What is the last rule that Helga wants? Pause your video and answer the question now. In the story I read that Helga wants all the class to change their name to Helga so that they can be more like her. So her last rule is that every kid in the class would be named Helga so they can all be more like her. All right, now we're going to go ahead to my second grade question, my extended question, my challenge question is, how would you feel if you were a classmate of Helga's and she was in charge? How would you feel if you were in Helga's class and she made these rules? Pause your video and answer that question now. If I was a classmate in Helga's room, I would feel disappointed or unhappy because maybe I don't like prune juice and I don't want my name to be Helga and I don't always want to wear purple every single day. So just like Helga's classmates, I might not like those rules very much. My next question is a fun question. This is the last question of the day. My next question is this. If you were in charge of our classroom, oh boy, if you were in charge of your classroom, so if you're in DePaul, think about being in charge in DePaul. If you are in UC, think about being in charge in UC. If you were in charge of your classroom, what 3 rules would you make? Oh, all right, I want you to pause your video and I want you to think about 3 rules that you would make in school if you were in charge. Pause your video and do that now. Okay, Miss Rossi thought, if I was in charge of the whole entire school, this is what I would do, ready? I would make every day lunch bunch day, because I love lunch bunch. We would have time to play basketball every day, because if you know Miss Rossi, you know Miss Rossi loves basketball. So I would make sure that we play basketball every single day. And the third thing would be, my third thing if I was in charge was I would give every student their own computer to have at school like the big kids have. So we would do lunch every day, we play basketball every day, and every kid would have their own Chromebook. So those are what Miss Rossi would do if she was in charge. I hope that you said out loud what you would do if you were in charge. Next time you talk to your teachers on the phone, if you want to share your thoughts, please share your thoughts because your teachers would love to hear what your thoughts are about being in charge. Let's go to the last page. It says, you got this. Friends, I know that learning from home is hard. I know that sometimes you're like, I don't want to do this. But you know all about endurance. You are a Great Lakes Academy scholar, so you can show endurance. So many friends in your grade are showing endurance, and I want to make sure that all of your brains are growing, not just some of yours. All of your brains are growing every single day. I'm proud of you. Please keep up the good work, and we will see you at lunch bunch soon. Bye.